You are listening to a group of instruments made by the people playing them. Not the usual array found in bands and orchestras, but unique instruments made of jars, wine glasses, kitchen utensils, all sorts of odds and ends. The group calls itself Music for Homemade Instruments. This piece, by Carol Weber, was composed especially for these instruments. Not only are the instruments and the music unique, but the pitches used differ totally from the notes most familiar music is based on.
Most Western music of the past 3 centuries is based on a scale which divides the octave into 12 equal units. This is known as the chromatic scale. That's all many Western instruments are designed to play.
But some musicians have wanted to experiment with other intervals, unequal intervals, and smaller divisions of the octave. One of the most original and influential experimenters was Harry Partch, an unconventional Californian who lived until the mid-1970s. Partch wanted to integrate sculpture, music, dance, and drama into a unified artistic experience that would reach people on the basic, primitive levels of myth and ritual.
The dreamer that dreamed.
His commitment to this ideal has served as an inspiration for many other musicians. One is Skip LaPlante, a member of the group Music for Homemade Instruments. He has recreated a 72-string kithara, one of Partch's inventions.
Harry Partch did a batch of different things. I mean, it's sort of one guy creating from scratch a whole world for himself. The whole thing for him was pitch. He wanted to work a 43-tone to the octave scale. This is the late 1920s, early 1930s when he's doing this. There are no electronics. You want a scale that's that out of the ordinary, you have to build your own instruments to do it.
Harry Partch was a real seminal influence for us. He was an American composer who built all his own instruments and composed for those instruments. This was an amazing feat. And as I grew up in high school, I saw his instruments and heard his music on record. It was the prime time for Harry. It was like the late 60s, and it was a wonderful time to see his work. And I just thought, here's this man that has the vision of making your own music on your own instruments. What a fabulous thing.
Harry was building instruments that were works of art by themselves, that by just the majesty of the instrument, before you even heard it, you were swept off your feet. They were beautiful. They were the set. They were not to be hidden. They were to be up front. They could move on wheels. They were sculpture in the best sense of the term.
He didn't want to be anyone's composition teacher, but what he did for me was something that I treasure for my life. The pioneer spirit of building something new, not being satisfied with the materials that one inherits from one's own culture, but the willingness to take a few years out and do something that one really believes in, if that's what it takes.
Harry Partch liberated us. Not everyone. There's still too many people who don't know who he is. But he liberated enough people that there are movements all over this country, and there's a lot of admiration for his work outside of this country that make for sort of legitimization of ingenuity, as if it needed legitimization.
What do you see? Da, 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 da. I see. Oh. No. 71 as this is being said, and I've been doing my own thing for almost 6 decades. I knew that I was going to be involved with music in some serious way when I was 14. Oh, I knew it before that, but when I was 14, I began to write music and conceive of dramatic situations. And I said right then and there, I will not be straight-jacketed by anyone. I'm going to be completely free.